I see most friends and relatives. I'm going to have to say thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you for your generosity of being here, taking care of spirit, taking care of the earth, and hearing what the elders had to say about this earth, who is our mother. Everyone has a story of creation, and these beautiful, beautiful trees represent our ancestors, where we come from. Stories say the Creator made everything that flies first on this world. Then He created everything that comes from the mountain, the four-legged, the insects. Then He created everything that belongs in the sea. And He created a community, a First Nation, by picking up some beautiful red powder from a giant cedar tree. He sang a song, as our songs go in prayer. And He blew in that palm of His hand, and that dust settled. One of those stars touched that dust, and that dust settled, and there was His first chief. And the Creator told him, take care of this earth. This earth is your mother. You fell from the sky. And He didn't stop there. He went to different types of trees, and He did the same thing. And the cedar dropped, and there was our elders. Did the same thing. The cedar dust dropped, and there was the family of children, mothers and fathers. And He went to a younger tree, and he said, take care. Only take care of what you use, what you have to. Take what you need. And the teaching that went, O hali te I tamo. O hali te I tamo. O hali te I tamo. The earth is alive. The earth is alive. Truly, the earth is alive.
We're asking the people to listen, to truly hear the words and the work that needs to be done to take care of our Mother Earth. And is this the right thing to do? It is the right thing to do. We listened to the elders that shared with us. And for a few generations, we almost lost our teaching and our culture. But those elders that held on to the teaching and culture, they understood what was going to happen. And when we turned back to our culture, we were young people, and the elders came from everywhere. And they were excited. And that's when our words and the teachings began to be shared with the young people again. And we were told that the first people were going to suffer and there'd be many losses. But we were told that one day the first people were going to turn back to their culture and take their rightful place. We were told that when the eagle lands on the moon, they were going to stand up and take their rightful place. In 1969, when the astronaut landed on the moon, the first words back to Earth, heard throughout North America because of television. His words were that the eagle is landed. the excitement, I can only imagine the excitement in the elders and our spiritual people at the time. That's how we know that what we're doing is right and what we're doing is good. A one mind with a good mind and a good heart. That's how we move forward.
Sim Chilicha. The street, TSARTLIP, Lummi, Stelnuch, Quilnuch, and the Quilia. Huisgekos pot sail, and Gungana, and Scholakwa, and Salation. First of all, I want to thank the Lummis for inviting me here, and for those of you that have come together today. The teaching of our people, whether it's Coast Salish, Lummi, it is the same all across this land. I am half Nez Perce. My mother was from Idaho, from Lapway. So I learned about some of the things of the Nez Perce. But I was told right from the beginning that to know this land, the land of the Coast Salish people, the Halkaminam, the Sanchothan people. The things we were taught when we were small, very young, is that we must always walk together. We must show and we must tell our children to walk together. You don't tell them what to do, you show them.
We are indigenous to the United States, North America. We are Coast Salish. We have traveled for 15 years giving totem poles away, calling people of all races and all colors to join us, to pray, not only for our culture and our people, but for the earth. We have people that come here from many different Indian nations, working with our elders, sharing, encouraging us, supporting us, working with us. I'm proud of the Lummi Nation. We're very much involved in convincing the United States to accept the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. It's a recovery plan. Indigenous peoples come in all four colors. And they've been colonialized. They've been oppressed. They've been put down. They've been told that their songs and the dances and the ceremonies and the knowledge, traditional medicine, the legends, the myth, and the folklore of their people was unacceptable. And yet all of that gives us a cosmology. It tells us how to have a sacred relationship with the world around us and everybody that we come in contact with. You're supposed to understand that you're a sacred being. You have a mind, a body, and a soul. And you share a common spirit with the creation around you. God, by any name, created the world around us. Created Mother Earth. Mother Earth's alive. Many of our traditional symbols we use in our arts, our crafts, on our totem poles, painted on our drum, those are Mother Earth symbols. They mean something to us. They don't just come to us in our dreams. They come to us through the sacred teachings of our ancestors, handed down for untold thousands of years, telling us, you have a duty to remember you're not the only ones on the earth. You have a voice, speak up. What about the animals, the birds and the fish, those that crawl on the ground, that live in the ground? What about the trees, the plants? All of these things are a part of the spirit of the earth.
If I look at the numbers of Native Americans in the United States and in Canada, we are less than 5%. Who am I not to share those words? How can I not stand up and defend my family? How can I not defend the earth? My role as a life giver has been at times very confusing. We were sent to schools. We're taught to take. We're taught to find wealth, to learn from the mind. I grew up, my brother here invited me into his home when I was younger. Him and his wife and our elders from here, they taught me to speak from your heart, to follow the ways of our people, to never stop believing in the gifts that you have. But as a young person, as I shared with my grandmother this morning, I'm not sure what I have anymore. I'm not sure of those teachings at times. I have to humble myself once again. I have to return to the longhouses. I have to return into the woods and go back into the mountains to find myself, to find what it means to be a Stahobsh woman, to find out what it means to be a life giver, to be connected with the earth, to be connected with all that surrounds me, the sky, the fire, the water. These are all our medicines. That is my role. With the violence happening all over the world, I often wonder what kind of voice does one person have? But if I turn around and I look at our elders here, I look at our dear relatives here today, we are many, we are not one. You put those branches together, each one of us together, and you cannot break us. One stick alone can be broken, but you put us all together, and we are one.
You see, we've been separated from our land. We've been separated from the mountains. We've been separated from the water. We've been separated from everything that we are. We let go of it. We let go of it. And we've replaced it with something that can't sustain us. Some of the leaders in this country, in North America, Canada, United States, the governments want us to be like them so that we can do the same thing they're doing. It isn't wrong to be wealthy so long as it isn't at the expense of someone else. No one in this room wants to be poor. No one in this room wants to see disaster in their homes or in their family. No one wants that. But what do we see today? Some of the greatest educators in this continent, sometimes they're called Indians, sometimes they're called savages, sometimes they're called subhuman. We've been called everything, but we've survived to stand here. How come? because we had great, great leaders in ancient time. They said to us, remember this. Get to know the land. Walk with the land. Walk with it like your life depended on it. Listen to the water. Listen to the mountain. Why do you suppose this mountain behind us has snow all year round? Because it has to feed the land. Everything that comes from that mountain feeds this land. People use it for a ski resort. They do everything that's not proper. Some of our people have even bought in, and they agree with it. What are you going to do when that mountain is no longer has snow on it? What are we going to do? We're going to die like everything else. That's what's going to happen.
And that's what we try to do with the totem poles when we give them away. Share to let others come forward and pray for the earth, because we're killing the earth. And we all have to live on it. We're a people that's supposed to appreciate the life we have. Do you get up in the morning and say, thank you, Great Spirit, because something dies for me today. Something will die for me so that I can live. We become so selfish we can't even remember to say thank you. We act as if it's a given that the earth will always provide for us. We have taken so much that sooner or later the mother can't give anymore. And she begins to die. And so we hear people coming forward and saying, do you hear about the medicine wheel in the 4 directions? Do you know about the symbols? There's the air, the water, and the land, and fire. We're a society, we're so addicted on the path of fire. We use the fossil fuels and nuclear energy, even though it's burning up our atmosphere, to dominate the earth, as if we have no reason to feel shame. We burn it at will. And so, you're going to hear our people talk about global warming, the poisoning of the waters. We've traveled to these nations with our totem poles, and the elders came forward with their little grandchildren. And they said the river is dying. The Missouri River is dying. The Columbia River is dying. The Athabascan River is dying. The Fraser River is dying. Wherever we went, they said the water is being polluted and destroyed. And it's all because of man's impact. We're a Mother Earth people. Our culture and our teachings have value. We live in a country, a superpower that can influence the world and lead them down the path of destruction. Or they can turn around and they can become the role model for all countries. But can we do it? Because we live in a country where we have become the gluttons of the world. We want more, now, faster, and we waste and waste and waste. Our culture at one time taught us to not be that way. To don't take more than you need. Everything that was older than us was created by the Great Spirit first. Everything that's older than us is non-human. We're the youngest children of the earth. The youngest. We're the babies of the earth. And yet we're the destroyers, the destructors. We have this man philosophy, this male idea that we have a right to conquer and destroy. Our elders wanted us to have a big heart. They said, this is your other mind, right here. Don't forget this one. It's not about just this. It's about this too. You have to have feelings for all things. And if you have those feelings, you can hear the sacred songs. You can see the beauty all around you. You'll see the rhythm, and you'll begin to dance to it, sing with it, cherish it, share it, pass it on to your friends, your relatives. Who doesn't have a soft spot right here? Inside us, our elders say there's a sacred place. That's what they teach. There's a sacred place inside you. Before you pray, before you sing, before you do these things, before you get involved in the ceremonies, you go to that sacred place and you calm down because it's becoming a sacred moment. Our elder from Vancouver Island told us when we're traveling on these totem poles, gathering people together, remember, the totem pole is not a sacred thing. What's sacred is when the people gather, when they come for that common purpose, when they work together, share with each other, encourage each other. That's your duty as the children, the young people, coming up behind the leaders that went before you.
You might be wondering where we're going to go. How are we going to move forward? It's my understanding that all of us, nations in the world, are traveling together in one canoe. We call it Mother Earth. We have to learn to paddle together. We have to learn that you can't stand up in a canoe and be angry because that canoe will go over. We have to be going in one direction, all facing forward, with one common objective. This is the meaning of traveling together in a canoe. Our journey is not over. We have a long ways to go as people of Mother Earth. And the most important principle that's been given to us is respect. All of the other teachings mean that we must respect one another. Respect Mother Earth. And if we can do that, there won't be confusion. There won't be questions as to what we should do. I often wonder if some of these people that are digging into the ground for treasure or removing the trees, if they thought that the earth was alive, if they knew that the trees were alive, would they treat them that way? We need to come to one understanding, one thought, and then move forward in our canoe together. to see the sun go down, all red upon the water, o'er the sailless sea abound, the eagle whale, the otter. British Columbia, we call home. Go travel round the world and see some wondrous things, but there will not be found again a place where beauty sings. Oh,